Today on Studio G, we'll talk about the benefits of fear and what Halloween is doing to your pockets.
We're also going to check in with the Las Vegas Farmers Market and BZ Media Group's hackathon.
And Studio G will sit with Ryan Thorpe and discuss the evolution of UNLV's journalism department.
Stay tuned for more Studio G.
Thank you for joining Studio G. I'm Diva Carter.
And I'm Sebastian Ross. According to the National Retail Federation, Halloween spending is expected to reach $9 billion this year. Kim Hutcherson breaks down the expenses.
Candy, costumes, decorations, it all adds up. And this Halloween, collectively, we're expected to spend $9 billion. That's according to the National Retail Federation's annual survey. The report found the average spending per person is $86.79. That's slightly higher than last year's spending survey. So where's all that cash going? According to the NFR survey, $2.7 billion will go towards decorations, $2.6 billion will go towards candy, $400 million on greeting cards, and the bulk of it, a little more than $3 billion, will be spent on costumes. And speaking of dressing up, the survey found the top-ranked costumes for children were princess and superhero. For adults, the popular costumes were witch, vampire, and zombie. The survey also found pet costumes are gaining popularity. Nearly 20% of people said they plan to dress up their pets this year. That number is up from last year's 16%. The NRF credits the economy and high consumer confidence for the positive survey. For Consumer Watch, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, now despite the increasing prices, seeing all the kids participate makes it worth it, and getting all those pics of your dogs in the costume is great.
Looking for a convincing reason to get your friends to a haunted house? CNN's Jeremy Roth reports why getting scared is sometimes good for you.
Fear is often a toxic force in society, but I personally have always really enjoyed doing scary things.
Margie Kerr is a sociologist who studies fear.
I wanted to understand why we would want to engage with something that's largely negative.
Kerr analyzed people's responses before and after walking through Scare House, an extreme haunt in Pennsylvania. The spine-tingling experience improved moods, decreased stress, and increased confidence. While it seems unlikely, some of the benefits were similar to meditation.
These very intense emotional experiences ground us in our body and are related to decreased reactivity, checked out in a good way.
But how far is too far to go for a fright?
For fear to be fun, it does have to happen within an environment that is relatively safe.
Kerr says choice and agency make all the difference.
That people are enjoying the moment where they can have fear more in their own control.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Jeremy Roth.
You can get your healthy scare in tonight at the Asylum Hotel Fear Haunted House, located on Meadows Lane. We'll be right back with more Studio G.
Our Metropolis is a 30-minute show that airs every Tuesday evening at 91.5. You're going to hear Dr. Gary Larson along with our regular contributors talking about what matters to our community. And not only what matters, but why does it matter? We look at our community as a whole, but we also pay special attention to what's happening here at UNLV because that's our home as well. So looking at our Metropolis through the lens of a radio show really gives us the unique perspective to tell a story through words and through people, and I think it makes for a great program.
We are member supported. KUNV 91.5, The Source. Here's why you should become a member. Become a part of the public radio family while keeping jazz alive in Southern Nevada. Every member receives a discount card to businesses and restaurants around the valley. along with a premium of KUNV branded items. Exclusive access to KUNV ticket giveaways for concerts and events. And private members-only events with prominent musicians such as Paul Taylor, Vincent Ingala, and many more. We are 91.5 The Source, and that source is you. So become a member today.
These days, you can find just about anything at the Las Vegas Farmers Market. The Farmers Market is hosted at various locations throughout the valley, and Studio G's Arlette Youssef tells us more.
Downtown Summerlin is hosting this Saturday's Farmers Market. They're here from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can find anything from fresh produce to handcrafted products.
I actually started coming to Las Vegas as a vendor for Farmers Market in 2012. So I've been doing it for quite a few years. We've got locations all over town, probably about 6 or 7 different locations throughout the Las Vegas Valley now. So we're really excited to bring produce to just about everybody's neighborhood so that you can come out and get the great stuff and great produce. We've got a couple of boxes of a sub-acid peach, which is really unique. It doesn't have a lot of acidity to it, so you can eat it like fresh like an apple, crunchy. And then we've got the traditional peaches and, of course, all the nectarines and plums. A few apples and pears down at the other side, and very, very soon we're going to be doing a lot of citrus. We specialize in lots of different types of citrus, specifically the Cara Cara Navel Orange is one of our flagships. But we've got calimandrins, we've got mandarins, we've got, even today, we've got finger limes, pink lemons, and just a whole bunch of different products.
This farmers market provides an array of goodies. Freshly made beef jerky, organic honey, and even Boy Scout cookies are available.
This is $25. Unbelievable butter and kettle corn.
You're sure to find delicious food and one-of-a-kind accessories.
So I came up with this idea for a pillow sham or a pillow cover. The satin is really good for your skin and for your hair. In the morning, it'll help you to be able to just fall back to sleep because you can just cover your eyes. So the name of it is a sleep in a bow because you sleep, it helps you sleep, and then you make it into a bow. And so again, it's Lux Pillows Plus, luxpillowsplus.com.
For details and a full schedule of the farmers market, please visit downtownsummerlin.com or lasvegasfarmersmarket.com. For Studio G, I'm Arlette Youssef.
For anyone interested in becoming a vendor, you can contact Rod Hubert at www.lasvegasfarmersmarket.com. Have you ever been to the farmers market?
Yeah, I actually used to go to the farmers market as a kid. You can find anything there from jewelry, candy, old school candy that you never even heard of, new candy, it's Halloween candy.
I think like one of the best things you can find is like localized honey, because they also mention that if you take localized honey, your allergies are going to go down because of the local bee population that they harvest their honey from. So I love farmers market honey.
And it also helps you get to sleep.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Beasley Media Group has partnered with UNLV, showcasing students' abilities. Their goal is to innovate radio and its future through the Valley's youth. Studio G reporter Trevor Glisson has more.
Beasley Media Group, one of the largest radio corporations in the country, has partnered with UNLV to put on a hackathon. The focus of the hackathon is to innovate radio broadcasting for the future.
So the Beasley Media Hackathon is going to be centered around innovation in media. I know that's a rather large topic, and so it creates a lot of room for opportunities for great ideas to come through. Largely what they do is AM/FM radio broadcasting, right? How can we take the additional bandwidth that isn't being used currently in the market and turn it into other uses and innovations that we could use in our everyday lives for the future?
It is interesting to note that Beasley Media Group chose UNLV for the unique innovations that have centered from Las Vegas.
And he actually pitched me. So he said, hey, you know, we're kind of interested in working with UNLV on a joint project, and at the time we had no idea what that joint project would be. And what it ultimately ended up being after several conversations, and actually Beasley Media folks did come out here to meet with us, and the hackathon was the thing that we settled on.
Beasley Media Group believes that the Consumer Electronics Show is a great place to showcase what these student inventors and innovators come up with during this hackathon.
So what we're hoping the students gain out of this experience, yes, the $5,000 grand prize is great. I think the ability to go to CES for free as a part of your selected as one of the finalists is also a great incentive. Really, it's the experience to go through this, to learn how businesses, industry is actively looking for solutions to things. And so at the end of the day, we're really trying to focus on, hey, can we get some students some experience on what it takes to work in the real world, to solve problems, to look future forward, to focus on innovations, and say, hey, can we implement that at the college level and get you the experience so when you get out into the real world, you're ready for that.
Studio G caught up with Eric Serrano, one of the students participating in the hackathon, to gather his thoughts on the event.
Man, that would be amazing. Honestly, CES, when they threw that out there, it's like, oh yeah, you get first place gets a trip to CES, like just kind of casually. But CES is huge. Like you don't see a lot of people offering tickets to CES. It's not something that the public is invited to. And so being able to go there, I think I speak for the rest of my team when I say that it would be really amazing to just get to go there.
The Beasley Media Group Hackathon has not yet started. However, students are excited to showcase their skills and possibly participate in CES. For Studio G, I'm Trevor Glisson.
For more information, you can visit the UNLV website or you can contact the Beasley Media Group at www.bvgi.com. We'll be right back with weather.
It's great. You make friends, you gain skills, you learn how to do all this stuff with audio. It's a fantastic thing.
I can grow with everyone and everybody supports me as well as I can support them.
I think it's great. I think it's a blessing to have this kind of equipment from the Green Spun family as well as the state of Nevada.
And it's really informative to see, how a radio show really works.
Now that I do it, I have friends, I have people that want to hang out, and I get to play music a lot.
It's very good too because we have all the top-of-the-line equipment to work with and students here that can help you out, so it's a very, very good way to get involved in the radio.
I really enjoy doing my show. I love all types of rock, and that's why I'm doing Rock Through the Decades. We play the 50s all the way to today's rock music or rock bands. I want them to get the appreciation of how much rock has changed over the years and how it's still really great. You can never kill rock. I mean, rock is like the way to be, the way to go. The name of my show is Rock Through the Decades, and I am Rockin' Gemini. You can listen to this on the Rebel HD2 network.
Good morning, Rebels. Timothy Klein here with your weather forecast for today. Happy Halloween, by the way. As you can see, we're very festive here in the studio. You look to the right of your screen, you can see that on average we're looking at 63 degrees today, which is very nice for me in my cold climate. I like it here, but nothing you humans out there can't handle. It's going to be sunny all day. The high is 70 and the low is actually going to be 52. So it's going to be on the colder side, and you can expect winds to pick up at about 6 miles per hour. Go to the weekly forecast here. It'll stand out for you. Today, it's going to be sunny, like I said, 70 degrees, the low is 52. It's going to be sunny throughout the week. You're not going to see many clouds, maybe a little partly on Sunday, but it's going to be majority sunny on that day. Temperature is going to be picking up tomorrow by about 8 degrees, and it's going to stay on the higher 70s throughout Sunday. And the low is going to be a little higher as well. Getting into Las Vegas here, you can see Centennial is actually 56 degrees right now. A couple of my Penguin brothers and family are hanging out up there. Summerlin, 59. Everything else is about 60 and above. Boulder City, you can't see on your screen, but that's sitting at 63 degrees. But Centennial is definitely the coldest right now in our valley at 56. Brings us to beautiful Paradise Campus today. 73 degrees is your average, and it's going to be 6 miles per hour for the winds. Humidity is sitting at about 19%. You can see it's going to be sunny all day. Brings us to tonight. Around campus here, it's going to be 60 degrees. So, like I said, good for penguins, good for humans both. Humidity is 16% the same. It's going to be clear tonight, and you're looking at the same speed winds, 6 miles per hour. Now we'll go after this break. We'll go back to the studio.
Oh, the station's great. You make friends, you gain skills, you learn how to do all this stuff with audio. It's a fantastic thing.
I can grow with everyone and everybody supports me as well as I can support them.
I think it's great. I think it's a blessing to have this kind of equipment from the Green Spun family as well as the state of Nevada.
And it's really informative to see, how a radio show really works.
Now that I do it, I have friends, I have people that want to hang out, and I get to play music a lot.
It's very good too because we have all the top of the line equipment to work with and students here that can help you out, so it's a very, very good way to get involved in the radio.
I really enjoy doing my show. I love all types of rock, and that's why I'm doing Rock Through the Decades. We play the 50s all the way to today's rock music or rock bands. I want them to get the appreciation of how much rock has changed over the years and how it's still really great. You can never kill rock. I mean, rock is like the way to be, the way to go. The name of my show is Rock Through the Decades, and I am Rockin' Gemini. You can listen to this on the Rebel HD2 network.
Hello, I'm here with RT, actually Ryan, but we know him as RT. He's pretty much the man here in the journalism building, so welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So please tell us, what do you do?
How long we have here? I mean, a little bit of everything. I like to think that I kind of keep the the lights on around here, keep the broadcast going. But yeah, I mean, literally just kind of just a slew of everything, from helping students with their editing problems and getting them their field equipment whenever they're going out, helping you guys in here whenever a light goes out or anything like that, and you guys are pulling your hair out trying to figure something out. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, definitely. When the building is coming down, you are the guy to call. I know I've called you several times.
Oh, yeah.
So you are definitely great helping with editing and things like that. But I don't know if most students know this. You're pretty helpful with like working the cameras too. I know I've personally asked you several questions whenever I'm checking out a camera. You're very knowledgeable with all that stuff.
Yeah, I've gotten to know all this equipment for a long time, really, and fortunately we've gotten some newer equipments in the time that in the year and a half that I've been back here working, and I've spent a lot of time with that. So it's getting to know all the equipment and knowing kind of the ins and outs and how to work, and it's all pretty relative. You use one camera, you pretty much use them all. It's just kind of the little nuanced things on the inside that you got to look at.
Yeah, I know, like, especially when it's stuck on a setting or something, you have the touch to fix it.
Yeah,
so thank
sometimes
you.
Just that one button that we got to hit.
Yeah, so, I mean, is it hard to keep track of so much equipment? I mean, I've seen that room. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, it is a lot. I'm really lucky to have, my student worker, David, he's at my side helping me keep track of everything, and he was, we were really lucky to have him make a website for us, and, a really, really great list and inventory list, and it's worked out so far. I mean, a couple complaints here and there, but I mean that's kind of the way things go. It's a service industry. If you think about it, there's always going to be complaints.
Yeah, no, and honestly, David's great too. Every time I go and need anything from him, he's always there as well. So I appreciate both of you. I'm sure all of us students here definitely appreciate you all. I know you went after you graduated. You went and you actually worked in the field, and then you decided to come back. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, after graduating, I went and worked at Channel 8 for 3.5 years, and everybody kind of has their own, their own experiences there. Me personally, it wasn't the best, but that's kind of just the way it goes. And I was done. I just didn't really want to work there anymore. I just wanted to try to figure some things out on my own. So I actually left on Inauguration Day last year.
Oh.
So kind of one of the better days to not work in professional news anymore.
Yeah, I understand that, and you're right. Everyone's experience at Channel 8 is totally different.
Yeah, and it's not just Channel 8. I mean, it's all the stations, because every station's owned by its own corporation, and it's a whole.
Yeah, I mean, and it really is different for everyone. I've heard a lot of great stories about Channel 8 and CBS and all the others. So it's a learning experience for everybody.
Definitely.
So coming back here, what do you hope to contribute, you know, in a larger scale, on a larger scale for the department here?
I mean, really, I think kind of what I'm doing now is really kind of the bulk of it. You know, I'd like to see, you know, newer equipment come through, us get, you know, into a higher resolution for our studio and our control room back there, because you know, we're kind of stuck in the 720 world, so it's the lowest of the high grade resolutions. But I mean, it'd be nice to get into 1080, 4K, you know, just so we're matching a little bit more to some of the professional studios that are out there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Everybody, it's RT. We'll be right back after this.
As far as Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing. You get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
You don't get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that, you know, that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
The on-campus club, the Revolutionaries, joined together last week to bring students a night of fun. The student union ballrooms were transformed into a venue for socializing, games, and dancing. Studio G's Timothy Klein has more on this party with a cause.
On Thursday, October 25th, a UNLV club known as the Revolutionaries held a dance marathon in the student union ballrooms A, B, and C.
For this event specifically, it's not the first of its kind at UNLV. We've had dance marathons before, but this is kind of a revival because we haven't had one in 3 years. There's another branch here in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas High School Dance Marathon, and that is the most successful dance marathon series in the high school level across the entire West Coast, I believe. And in terms of the event itself, this one specifically, it's not necessarily the full event because we are going to have a full coverage later on next spring. So this is basically just a little sample. So we have a live DJ playing music. There is going to be dancing, as the name implies. It's a dance marathon. But it's not just dancing. We do have activities for all the attendees as well. We have video games, a video game booth. We have a photo booth for people who want to take pictures. There's also a bunch of games set up. We have hula hoops and we have board games and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot for people to do. It's not just dancing, because not everybody likes to dance, and you know, that's okay.
Admittance to the event totaled $15 per person, which has been donated to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
It is, as we like to call it, a party with a cause. The main goal is to raise funds for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And if you don't know what Children's Miracle Network is, it's a nonprofit organization and is dedicated to providing medical care and equipment for children, mainly premature babies, but the main goal is to raise funds for them because in the hospitals, especially with premature babies, it's not cheap to get medical care, any of that kind of stuff. So Children's Miracle Network tries to alleviate these costs, and they don't eliminate it completely, but they make it a lot cheaper. And they gain money through the community and through events like this. So what we do is, you know, we put on this dance marathon, let all the attendees have fun and that kind of stuff, but also do this all for a good cause for the children. We have an arts and crafts station for those who want to make letters to the kids in the hospital to help make them feel better. We were actually part of the first Las Vegas High School Dance Marathon that happened back in 2014. And at the time we were just members and we were like, wow, this is cool. So we reached out, we did know some of the committee members who did create it in high school. So we just reached out to them. We just said, hey, we want to bring Dance Marathon to UNLV, can you help us? And we actually have a liaison from the hospital himself. His name is Jason, and we work with him frequently. And he basically, you know, helps us out and gives us a further inspiration of what we want to do.
For Studio G, I'm Timothy Klein.
It's great to see traditions from high school make their way into the collegiate community. We look forward to the development of the Revolutionaries Dance Marathon.
The lights we see today on the Strip in downtown Fremont has a history that dates back to the 1930s. I stopped by UNLV Special Collections Gallery to take a look at its latest bright idea, the Transfigured Night exhibit. I'm standing here in UNLV's Special Collection Gallery where you can find fascinating information about Las Vegas and its history. I checked in with Peter Michel, the curator of Transfigured Night, an exhibit telling us information about Las Vegas's signs that we see on the Strip in Fremont and the history behind them. The UNLV Special Collections Gallery hosts a number of exhibits throughout the year, but the current Transfigured Night display gives us a better idea about how Las Vegas's bright lights we see today came to be. Exhibit curator Peter Michel has lived in the Vegas Valley for more than 20 years. He says the visual components to Transfigured Night makes the display unique.
The exhibit does two things. It highlights two of our collections, which are interesting and visually compelling, I think, and it also tells a story about Las Vegas.
That story begins with Yesco lighting. In the 1930s, Tom Young came to Las Vegas from Ogden, Utah to construct the classic neon signs that built Las Vegas's neon reputation on Fremont Street.
Those famous signs downtown on Fremont Street, which is what gave Fremont Street the name Glitter Gulch. It was the signs that Yesco was putting up along the big clubs and the hotels downtown on Fremont Street.
Some of the Glitter Gulch staple venues included the Boulder Club, which started their sign installations in the 30s, and the Las Vegas Club, known for its iconic blue and red display.
But if you look at it at night, what you see is this glow in the glitter of all these huge signs that totally overwhelm the buildings. And that's what we came to sort of see Las Vegas as, this lit up entertainment place.
As Las Vegas nightlife began to expand south of Fremont to the Las Vegas Strip, Michael went on to explain the evolution of lighting on the Strip based off of John Levy's contribution.
John Levy is sort of the next generation from Tom Young and Yesco. He was responsible for, first of all, the lighting in the ceiling of the Forum Shops, which has become a very iconic part of Caesar's Palace experience.
He wasn't done there.
Probably what he's most famous for is lighting the top of the Stratosphere Tower. Now, we may have thought of the neon as the iconic image of Las Vegas in its time, but now the Stratosphere Tower, with its many lit, with the legs that are lit up and the shimmering lights around the top, that was John Levy's contribution to lighting up the Las Vegas skyline.
With the advent of LED displays, sky's the limit for the future of the Strip's world-famous displays. For Studio G, I'm Sebastian Ross. If you'd like to see more of the history for yourself, you can catch the Transfigured Night exhibit on the 3rd floor of UNLV's Lead Library. And that brings us to today's show. Thank you for joining us and have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys.